Well, Coach, 12-1, first year, good games, good season.
Yeah.
Just a little synopsis of how you're feeling coming in 12-1 on your.
Well, it's great to be back and be back in football season and be back talking with you each week, and that means, we got games coming up, and so that's always exciting for our kids and our community. This is a community that loves football and loves Bulldog athletics, and so we're excited to once again represent them and put a product out on the field this year that our community can be proud of, because they deserve that for sure. But as far as last year goes, yeah, it was awesome. It was a great way to come into a place, and I'm forever indebted to that group of seniors who was here last year, because those guys bought in 100% to what we were trying to accomplish and the changes that we made. And so for them to embrace us as a coaching staff and to buy in was unbelievable. And so, and that's the results spoke for themselves because of the talent that those kids had, but then also the belief that they had and that they put into us made for a special year for sure.
Coach, let's touch base a little bit about some of the guys that are playing Division II and Division III football, Division I football. Mm-hmm. They were big playmakers last year. Mm-hmm. I know we've got Holscher and Cam Rowe, he's there, and then let's run through all of the guys where they are.
Cam is at UNLV and doing really well, and they had their first game this last weekend, and I got to watch him, and he is just really doing a really good job up there and adjusting well. Of course, he's been there since January, and so that helps. Devontae Marshall is over at Southern Missouri, and by all accounts doing really, really well, and been really proud of him. He got up there in the summer and started working, and so has done a really good job and stayed in touch with him. Zach Culture, as you mentioned, is at McMurray, and seems to be doing really well. I think they are Division III. Yeah. And then we got Kyrie Johnson, who's over at Centenary in Shreveport, and I've talked to him probably the most recently, and he's doing really well, really enjoying it, and looks like he's going to get a lot of playing time out the gate. And then, of course, Cornell Nunn at Kilgore Junior College is over there playing, and everything I hear seems to be going well. So anyway, really proud of those guys. I don't think I've missed anybody, but really proud of those guys. And I'm as equally as proud of the guys who are off, whether it be at school or trade school or working right now, who are being productive members of society. Equally proud of those guys. We have several who are enrolled in college right now, or enrolled in some type of trade school, and so to see them taking the things that they learned here and applying them to the real world is rewarding for sure.
Coach, of course, when you lose players, sometimes you lose coaches. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about a little bit about the coaches that are no longer with us.
Yeah. Well, we the big two are they're all significant, but Coach Kimball and Coach Carson went up the road to New Boston, and I kind of figured when we brought Coach Kimball here that we wouldn't be able to have him long, because I knew he was ready to be an AD and head football coach, and knew that was what he wanted. And so he got that opportunity this past spring and took Coach Carson with him as his offensive coordinator. And so they're over there, and wish them nothing but the best. Hoping they put us on the schedule this next realignment. So I'll just go ahead and put a little pressure on and make it public. And then we had Coach Bladen Reeves, who is also took another opportunity. He's now the strength coach up the road at Ouachita Baptist University, one of the strength coaches there. So really excited for him. And so those are the guys that we lost, but we feel like we replaced them with some really, really good coaches and really solid coaches, and we're excited about them as well.
Good deal. Coach, we've had 2 scrimmages this year. Give me the differences between what we looked like last year versus what we liked this year at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think everybody, the last memory of our team, from 2024 was, much different than what we have right now. And that's just last year was a senior heavy group, and some guys that had been doing it for a long time, not necessarily with us, but had played a lot of football. And so I think the biggest difference now is we have a lot of playmakers on our roster. I think the thing is we have guys who are in leadership positions who haven't been in those positions, or maybe they're in a position where instead of being a complimentary person or a depth guy, they're the guy now, and so that carries a whole lot of weight with it. Not just playing on the field, playing in, on Friday nights, but film study and leading others on the field. And so I think where we are now is in a really good spot. I know we're going to talk about it, but we're placing a lot on our offense as far as starters and personnel, but we feel like we have some really good kids in those positions. These guys are hungry and they're eager to prove themselves, and so that's exciting as well.
Coach, I thought we had a big offensive line last year. I think we may have gained a little bit this year.
Yeah, it's funny. I think, and this is not a slight to any of those guys, but I think if you would have told me that the 5 that we have were going to be our starters, when the season ended last year, I wouldn't have believed you, just because we have, one guy that's playing, was not even playing on that side of the ball, last year. And Adam Johnson, he's a converted defensive end, and then we kind of tried him at H-back, and then he's really embraced the tackle position and doing really well. And then there's some other guys there, that are new, some new faces there. Kamon Hall is one who is just a sophomore for us. C.J. Walker, who's a junior. And you have those 3 guys who are kind of some new faces, along with the mainstays of Keelan Williams and Kingston Nelson, and those guys, provide a lot of leadership and guidance for those young guys. But yeah, they're a really special group, and Coach Reeves is high on them, and they're playing really well right now.
Let's look on the other side of the field on the defensive line. Got some big boys there as well.
Yeah. I think coming out of the fall, out of summer camp or fall camp, whatever you want to call it, for me, that's probably been the biggest, I don't want to say surprise, but maybe the most impressive group is our D-line. Because we knew we had some pieces coming back, but they've really stepped up and have played really well, led by senior Aaron Ballard, who's really come on, and he's poised to have a monster senior year. And then sophomore nose guard Bryson Mosley is playing not like a sophomore. Of course, he played a lot of games as a freshman, and so he's looking really good. And then the other defensive end is Corey Blanton, who's just blown up over the offseason, grown up, and really looking good. And he's a man. Yeah, he is. And then the cool thing is we got some depth behind him. Markevion Tatum, Jason Webster, both of those guys would start at a lot of places, and they're going to get a lot of playing time here. They're going to be in the rotation. And then Alex Doris is a backup nose guard for us, who is just a steady, hardworking kid who's going to get a lot of playing time as well. So I feel really good about our defensive line right now. We
want to thank the Mason team out in West Texas, the Punchers.
Yeah.
They sent us a gift, and Jay's nephew, I think, is cousin. I mean, let's talk about that young man.
Yeah. I'm familiar with Mason, and from being in Kerrville for 6 years, and when I heard we had some kids that were from Jefferson, their families from Jefferson, they're moving back up here, I didn't really think much about it. And but we got Fisher out on the field, and from day one, I mean, the kids have respected him. He's earned the kids' respect. He's really embraced being here, him and his brother, and then of course his sister, who's a 7th grader. She's doing a great job on our cross country team as well. But Fisher's been a big time addition for us. A great leader, just a solid, dependable kid who's extremely tough and intelligent, and plays really hard, and he's just been a great addition for us, and we're thrilled to have him and Tanner and Cammie, their sister, as well.
Now, Tanner is a freshman.
Tanner's a freshman. Yep.
And I hate to say it, but Big Boy is a senior.
Big Boy's a senior.
Yeah.
Yep.
Man.
Yeah. So we'd love to have a couple more years with him. But we're excited about the time we do have with them, and going to make the most of it. And Tanner, he's looking really good as well, and made a bunch of plays in this preseason, and in summer 7-on-7 tournaments he did really well. So we're excited about him also.
Let's talk a little bit about our linebackers. Mm-hmm. You got a smile on your face when I say linebackers.
Yeah, I mean we were blessed to have some really good kids back there. Of course, and it starts with Coben Tomlinson, who is the returning district MVP, defensive MVP as a sophomore, and so he's returning with Dale Brown, who's standing right there next to him, who was the district newcomer of the year last year. And both of those guys have really stepped it up this offseason.
At the beginning of the season, did you think that Dale would be doing the things he did at the end of the season?
No, we challenged him big time in the offseason. And in fact, there's one day in particular that in our offseason we called him out and we challenged him to make a move, and he responded, and he has become just night and day difference. I can't brag on him enough. Has become more vocal, holding kids accountable. He's become like a coach on the field, and that's the what you love to see as a coach is just that growth and that maturity from kids who buy in and they start to see what it's about. And so not only is he a talented player, but he's really been a big time help for us in the locker room as far as just holding kids to our standard and that sort of thing. And on the outside we have Fisher, we already talked about, and then we have Caden Parrish, who played a lot last year as a sophomore and took his lumps a little bit, and had a lot of growing pains, but he's really stepped up.
He's grown up.
Yeah, he's grown up a lot and matured, and we're really excited about what he's going to do. So those four guys, behind a really solid defensive line, give us a lot of confidence.
What about in your secondary, Coach?
Yeah, our secondary is, again, we have a couple guys I think that are a bit of a surprise as far as being starters, and that's a testament to them and the way that they work. But, at corner, Braylon Blackshear is a sophomore that, again, this time last year, I think he was playing primarily receiver and came over in the offseason and just kept working and had some really good outings in 7-on-7 games and things like that, and has slowly just earned the trust of our coaching staff and worked really hard to make him basically where we got to play him because of his ability and his work ethic. And then opposite him, Tyler McCurry is a kid who's been around. He's a legacy Bulldog, and so he's been doing a really good job and stepping up and being a big time leader back there. And
he's going to work offense and defense this year.
He could, yeah. A lot of these guys could work both, but and then at safety, Lamarian Douglas is a returner for us, and we're really excited about what he's going to do. I mean, he is become a leader for us in the backfield and helping communicate coverages and making sure guys are doing what they're supposed to be doing. And he's not afraid to fly down and strike you either, which is good. And then opposite of him is Ethan Maxwell, who was playing receiver last year, and we asked him to change sides of the ball in the spring. In the summer, and man, he has embraced it and really come on.
I'll tell you what, I came up a couple of weeks ago and saw some of the kids in the locker room, and he had a little bit of chub on him last year. He is just cut like a dadgum statue this year. And a lot of the guys, it's amazing the maturity they've come as far as not only mentally but physically.
Yeah. You didn't say the same thing about me though when you saw me this year. So I understand. I got some work to do in that department. No, but I'm really proud of Ethan because he's embraced that role and really come a long way and made himself to where he's a really valuable part of our defense. So
okay, let's go back to the offense now. We've got a new quarterback this year. We got a new tailback. Let's talk about those positions.
Yeah. So Chance. Washington is going to be our starting quarterback, and
he was a backup last year.
Yeah, he was a backup and started at corner for us. And he's a really good athlete. Also great in basketball and track and pivotal on those teams. And we're really excited about what he's going to bring to the table from his athleticism standpoint, but also he's really emerged as a leader as well. And we've challenged him, both this offseason and this fall camp to step up in that area, and he's embraced that, and he's always got a positive attitude, and he's just a type of kid that is easy to coach and people want to be around because of his positive attitude, and he's just his good nature. And then of course he's very competitive as well. And has a confidence about him that's contagious. So, and then, standing next to him, we got a couple running backs coming back that people don't really know a whole lot about outside of our program, but I think they're getting ready to. And that's Jacoby Morrow, who backed Cam up last year. and then Trey Moss, who was on our JV last year. Both of those guys have really different running styles. Jacoby's more of a power runner, tough runner between the tackles type, and Trey's a little bit more of a slasher and speed guy. But they also can each do the other thing as well. Jacoby can get out in space and make people miss, and Trey doesn't mind lowering a shoulder and running someone over. And so really excited about those guys and what they're going to be able to do offensively for us. We're not asking them to be Cam. We're not asking Chance to be Tomias.
No, they've got to be them.
Yeah, we want them to be themselves and just go be the best versions of themselves. So,
let's talk about receivers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we feel like that's a really deep position for us, position group. We bring back a lot of guys, including Travis Gray and Jermaine Hopkins. Turkey is what everybody refers to him, or everybody knows him as. And those two guys are going to lead the way, and we're going to lean heavily on them and on their leadership, along with Avery Lawson, who moved from H-back to wide receiver, and he's had a really good offseason, a really good spring, and a really good summer. And so we're expecting big things out of him. And then we have some sophomores who are going to step up and be really good for us. And Braden Ventimiglia, Caden Grigsby, both of those guys have busted their tails, and they're going to be big-time playmakers for us. And then, you throw some other guys in there, like Marquise Chambers is someone who's a junior who's going to give us some more depth there. So we feel really good about that position, and feel like we have some guys who are ready to kind of emerge.
Coach, we've talked about players, and are we going to do basic same offense, defense we had last year? Or?
It'll be different. You'll see, I think, when people come and watch us on defense, they're going to notice, last year we were an even front, 4 down front, and this year we're in an odd front. So we got 3 down linemen and 4 linebackers, and that's probably something that we were going to do anyway, even if Coach Kimball would have stayed, just because of our personnel. And we've already talked about our linebackers, and you got to find a way to get your best 11 on the field. And so we have a new defensive coordinator, and Coach Jose Morales, who came to us from Mount Pleasant, and he's been a defensive coordinator before, and has brought a lot of intelligence and details with him and installing our defense. And our kids have done a great job in buying in, and man, you go out to our defensive practice and offense breaks the huddle, they come to the line of scrimmage, everybody's talking, everybody's communicating, and that's good to see. So, yeah, that'll be different. And again, that's just a way for us to get our best guys on the field. And then on offense, we're going to be a lot of the same. Of course, Chance has an element to him, being able to be, he's so mobile that we're going to find ways to utilize that as well. But with those receivers, we're going to find a way to get them the ball, but then also we're going to run the ball as well with those 2 running backs. So it's going to look, a lot of the same on offense, but we will have a few wrinkles to keep people on their toes for sure.
Coach, we've had 2 scrimmages. Let's talk about this first scrimmage and then the second scrimmage, and tell me the difference you see in the growth from the first to the second.
There was a big step from our first scrimmage to our second. And so our first one, defensively, I thought we played really well, but there was a lot of busted calls and busted assignments that people don't necessarily see, that didn't necessarily hurt us, but that was an issue, and so we got that cleaned up and fixed in the second game, or I'm sorry, in the second scrimmage, and also with our turnovers. It took us a while, till late in that first scrimmage before we were able to get a turnover, but the other night we got some early, and that kind of got the momentum going for us on that side, and so that was really good. And I think we did a better job of just running to the football and playing with energy, and so that was a big step up for our defense from week 1 to week 2. For our offense, it looked a little, I want to say clunky, or maybe just a little like like we were still a work in progress. Some that first scrimmage, a lot of that is because, like everyone, we don't game plan for those opponents. We're just running our stuff. And so there's stuff that we see, in those scrimmages that if we were game planning, we would take advantage of and have a plan to take advantage of. That, we're just out there working on our stuff. And but I think that our offense took a big step forward the next week, and just our execution and efficiency, cutting out mistakes and things like that. That was really good to see. So we're by no means, where we want to be on either side of the ball, but we're trending in the right direction, and that's good.
Coach, how are the kids responding to the new coaches coming in?
Yeah, so I'll talk about those guys really quick. Like as I mentioned, we have a new defensive coordinator, Coach Jose Morales, and the kids have really bought into him and really enjoy being around him. Like I said, he's extremely detail oriented and intelligent, and we're really fortunate to have him. Also on the defensive side, we have Coach Mike Todd, who's from Marshall. He played there and has been a defensive coordinator before and been a coach in the Houston area before, and that's where he's coming from. And he's been really good for us. He's a good sidekick, or maybe a good compliment to me, because sometimes I have a tendency to run a little hot, and he's a little more even-keeled and measured, and so I appreciate that about him, because he's able to kind of, reach the kids in a different way, and so that's good. We got to have people like that. And then on the offensive side, we have Coach Cuellar, who's our H-backs coach. He's also going to be our head baseball coach. He's coming to us from Paul Pewitt, and he brings a lot of knowledge. He's originally from Lufkin, brings a lot of knowledge of the game and of our offense to our offense, and is a really, really technical coach who works super hard with those guys, and so we're really excited about him. And then our running backs coach is Coach Jason McClendon, and he was actually an offensive coordinator at Cypress Lakes High School this past year in the Houston area. He's been at Tatum and Dangerfield and been some other places around here, but he's been an offensive coordinator. He's been a head coach before, and he's called this offense, and so his knowledge of our offense is solid, to say the least. And so it's, you're almost like you have another offensive coordinator over there, someone who's called it before, who can help Coach Simmons and sees things in a different way. And so we're really excited about what he's going to bring to the table. And so we feel like we have a really solid coaching staff and some guys who want to be here. They want to be in Jefferson. They want to make an impact on our program. And so far they've done a good job of that.
Coach, we've got 3 games coming up, preseason games. We play Leonard first, then we play Newton in Newton, and that's going to be a task in itself. And then, let's see, we play DeKalb here this year, don't we?
DeKalb at home for homecoming, and then we close out non-district with Pittsburgh on the road. Yeah.
Are you looking forward to that first game?
Yeah, I think you always are, because you can only tell so much in scrimmages, and just to get out there and let our kids just cut loose and have fun playing football. I think sometimes, myself included, we can lose sight of that this thing's meant to be fun, and we need to have fun in order for it to be worth it, because we work too hard and too long for 10 guaranteed Fridays in the fall to not enjoy each one of them. And so I'm really looking forward to it. I'm glad that it's home, so that our fans get to be here and watch us as we kick off the season. And just ready for these guys to go out and perform, and just really excited about what the season holds. Anything else you want to talk about? Fading thoughts? No, we're just really excited and hope that everybody comes out, and we want to pack out the stadium, every week this year. We want everyone to listen and watch us on YouTube. But we also want that stadium full of people. That's right. And we are doing our pregame tailgate again this year. We'll do those every home game. And so I know this week won't be any different. We're supposed to have some nice weather rolling in tomorrow that you got for us. I appreciate that, Ned. We got some mid-80s, weather rolling in. And so that's not an excuse. And also, we're going to take a moment in the pregame ceremonies to honor Coach Jerry Bennett, who, of course, passed away this past spring. Yeah. And I'll take a couple minutes and just talk about him and Miss Tammy and that whole family, what they mean to me. I know we were fortunate enough to have that conversation last year and had a lot of fun doing that. And that was something I'll remember for a long time, is talking with him. But he came to this game last year in Melissa, and we honored him before the game. And so I feel extremely blessed that he was able to experience that, and then also come to a few more of our games this past year. But he was always extremely supportive of me, and I know that can sometimes be tough when you have somebody who's in a position that you held for a long time, and he's kind of synonymous with the AD head coach position here at Jefferson, and is a legend in these parts, and rightly so. But I just appreciate his being so gracious towards me and willing to give me some advice and kind of some pointers and talk me through some things in the time that we got to spend together. So I'm really excited that we get a chance to honor him in his memory before we kick off the season, and we will be honoring him all year. We have stickers with his initials on our helmet this year. That's something we're going to do, and of course all of our guys. We've talked to them about them dedicating the season to someone this year, and we give them a little magnetic picture frame they put on their locker, and they can put a picture of that person in there, so that's a little extra layer of accountability and also motivation for them each week. But for me personally, I'll be dedicating my season or this season to Coach Bennett and also Coach Lee, who also passed away this past spring. And so those are two Jefferson legends who I had the privilege to know both of them and speak to both of them and think very highly of them and their families, and just appreciate everything they did for Jefferson and for Bulldog football. And my goal and our goal is to make them proud with what we do with these guys on a week in, week out basis.
They both had that one and only state ring.
Yep. We want another
That's
one,
right.
Coach. That's right.
We're coming to get another one.
Yes, sir.
All righty. I think we've got it all covered. We'll make sure you guys come to the game. You can go home and this is what I do. As soon as I get to the house, I go to the game, and actually I can enjoy and watch it.
That's
because
right.
You're not just boom.
Yeah.
So do both. Come see us and then watch the game.